Hey, welcome back. Unit 2, Lesson 2, Compare and Order Negative Decimals. Essential question is listed for you. Today, I hope that you are able to order and compare negative decimals. So by the end of today, I hope you can say, Mrs. Spring, Miss Wolf, I can order and compare negative decimals. I'm going to stop for just a second and say thank you so much for being flexible yesterday. I know that it was confusing when my pages didn't match your pages, but you guys just really were flexible and didn't complain about it and didn't whine. And so thank you so much. That shows a lot of maturity and I really appreciate it. I thought that yesterday went really smoothly and you guys were super productive and super focused. So way to go. We're going to keep trying this method for now. And I'm open to feedback, so if it's not working for you or if you have suggestions, please come see me when it is appropriate. But otherwise, we're just going to get going. So happy Halloween. I'm going to try my best to get you out of here with no homework so that you can spend all night trick-or-treating and just devouring the candy that you get. And then tomorrow you're going to come to school and you're going to be like zombies because you're going to have come down from this sugar high and you're going to be ready to take a nap because you stayed up too late. So I'll keep that in mind for tomorrow's lesson. All right, let's go. I'm going to give you a minute to get to the page that you need to get to. Looks like this in your packet. At the top it says assignment 02-02, compare and ordering negative decimals. The words that are written in blue are words for you to fill in as we go. You can listen and then fill them in. Remember that it's okay to pause the video at any time. If you need to rewind, that's cool too. So here we go. When comparing or ordering decimals, imagine a number line. Numbers on the left are always smaller than numbers on the right. We know this to be true from ordering and comparing integers, that any number that falls farther to the right is actually bigger or greater than the numbers that fall to the left. If we look at these first two examples, they look really similar. However, they are not. There's a major difference. The first example has positive 3 being compared to positive 3.5. Let's take a look at where those belong in the number line. Positive 3 falls here, and 3.5 or 3.5 is actually further to the right, approaching 4, halfway in between 3 and 4. So thinking about these notes, the numbers on the left are always smaller. It makes it really obvious that 3 then must be less than 3.5. I can also think about that in terms of money. $3 versus $3.50. $3.50 is clearly more in your pocket, and so we use the inequality symbol to show that that is open up to the greater value. The second example, negative 3 and negative 3.5. Let's place those on the number line. Negative 3 looks to appear right here. Negative 3.5 is actually more negative than negative 3 and halfway in between negative 3 and negative 4. So if we think about which number is to the left, that would be negative 3.5 in this case, because remember those negative numbers are like a mirror image. So they look like they're getting bigger the farther to the left that we go, but the value is actually decreasing. Those numbers are actually smaller on the left. If we think about this in terms of money, being in debt or owing someone $3 versus owing somebody $3.50, owing somebody $3.50 means you're in more debt. You have less money in your bank account. It's farther to the left. That is the smaller number. Negative 3 means you actually have more money in your pocket, even though you're still in debt. So that helps me to really think through decimal numbers. I hope that it also helps you. I want you to try the next two examples on your own. So you can pause the video, think about them individually. Negative 8 compared to negative 8.5. Use the number line to help you. Whichever number is farther to the right is the larger number. Whichever number is farther to the left is the smaller one. See if you can place the inequality symbols properly or precisely, and then press play when you're ready to check your thinking with mine. Remember, the more negative a decimal is, the smaller it is. Here is my thinking. Hopefully it matched yours. Negative $8, being in debt $8 is actually better than being in debt $8.50 because in this case you owe more money, which means you're farther in debt or further to the left. Negative 1.23 or negative $1.23 is about here. Negative $1.32 means you're more in debt, approaching negative 2. And so the number that's to the right is the bigger number. Negative 1.23 is greater. All right, quick break. Would you rather? This is a little brain break. Stretch if you need to. And then think about these two questions. Would you rather wipe out all of the bad people in the whole wide world or wipe out all the bad non-living things like natural disasters, homelessness, starvation? That is a tricky question if you ask me, but I want you to think about it, and then I would like you to write your answer for both of these questions at the bottom of your notes. So below the notes that you just took, there should be a little bit of space. Just write a number 1 and then tell me your thinking, and then write a number 2 and tell me your thinking. The second question says, would you rather be able to fly or be able to read people's minds? Once you have answered those two questions and written them down underneath your notes, we can move on. We're just going to do a couple more examples, and I want you to remember, or just as a reminder, think about the number line, think about money, think about debt. Each of these examples has 4 numbers, and to figure out which is the smallest or order them, to be able to order them from least to greatest or greatest to least, let's place them on the number line first. Letter A for this first example, negative 2.5. You always have to look at the scale of a number line. This looks like it's going by 0.5 because if we start at 0 and then we go to 1, there's a dash in the middle, so it's cutting it in half, which means we're going by 5/10 or 0.5. So if we place negative 2.5, oops, here's negative 2. Negative 2.5 is more in debt, farther to the left, halfway between negative 2 and negative 3. Negative 3.5, farther or more in debt than negative 3, halfway between negative 3 and negative 4. Positive 1.5 falls in between 1 and 2. And positive 0.5 is more than 0, but less than 1, halfway between the two. This makes it really easy for me to list least to greatest or greatest to least. We would have letter B, then letter A, then letter D, and then letter C, going from left to right because the numbers on the left are always smaller than the numbers on the right. So I really like using a number line to help me compare. The cool thing is that you can always just draw a number line wherever you are. If it helps you to visualize, if it helps you to place, if it helps you to compare and order, do it, even if it's not provided for you. Second example, a little bit trickier because of how it's split up. Here's negative 8, here's negative 9, here's negative 7. Negative 7.8, so it looks like it's split into 1, 2, 3, 4 fifths. So fifths are actually, we're going by 0.2 or 2/10. So negative 8, negative 8.2, 8.4, 8.6, 8.8, and negative 9. So if we use that to help us place this first number, negative 7.8, here's negative 7. It's more in debt, so negative 7.2, negative 7.4, negative 7.6, negative 7.8. Negative 7.2, here's negative 7, here's negative 7.2. Negative 8.4, using negative 8 as a starting place. Negative 8.2, negative 8.4, because we're going farther in debt or closer to negative 9. And negative 8.6, 2, 4, 6, falls here. So then if we compare these least to greatest, letter D, letter C, letter A, letter B. You can go ahead and try the third one if you would like to. This is kind of a challenge question. I think it might even be helpful to think about this one in terms of money. Negative 1.875. If I round this to just looking at money, which is to the hundredths place, it's like being in debt $1.87 or 88 cents, $1.88, owing somebody $1.88. Here I owe somebody $1.63. Here I owe somebody $2.25. Here I owe somebody $2.50. So even if I don't use the number line, I could think about money to order and compare these. The farthest in debt is negative $2.50, then negative $2.25, then negative $1.88, then negative $1.62. And I didn't place these perfectly based on the number line, but thinking about money, I was able to get the correct order. D, C, A, B. All right, I feel like you're ready to give it a try. So, assignment 02-02 is your homework for today. Notice that there are some positive numbers and some negative numbers. I also want you to take a peek at some of these absolute value questions. So a quick reminder, absolute value is the distance a number is away from zero on the number line, which means you've got to take the absolute value of this number first before you compare it. So for example, number 11 says, the absolute value of negative 14.5, which if we take the absolute value, we get positive 14.5. So which is larger, 14.5 or 14.3? $14.50 versus $14.30. That's a no-brainer. I open up my inequality to this number because it's greater once we take its absolute value. Number 12, the absolute value of negative 6.53 is positive 6.53. The absolute value of negative 6.469 is positive 6.469. So then if we compare $6.53 to $6.47, if we round that, $6.53 is greater. So I open up the inequality to that number. You may listen to music while you work. I would like for you to check as you go. So after you finish 1 through 12, will you come check with either Miss Wolf or myself to see and make sure that you're on the right track? And then you can continue on with your homework. When you finish everything, I would like you to correct it with the key. And then you have the choice of either playing Balloon Pop or Battleship Numberline. These games are both going to be posted to my website on the main page, right above this calendar. Both games have to do with just practicing comparing and ordering decimals. Most of them are positive, but there's excuse me, a few negatives mixed in there. If you have questions that come up along the way, please don't hesitate to ask. If you need to get up and stretch, you can. Again, don't be distracting or disruptive because other people are at different points in their lesson. But you guys did a really great job yesterday, so I expect the same today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will check in with you when you finish working or as you're working. Thanks.